Welcome back. In the last clip we set up all the render layers in Houdini and now we are putting them together in NUKE. As you can see, I already built a little NUKE script here. You can find that in your project folder. So I loaded in all the layers we rendered out in the last clip. So you can find the ocean layer here, the boat separately, then there's the white water and there's the mist. So all the layers are there and are available for tweaking. Rendering them out separately gives us more control over the final look. Also, I used a depth pass, as you can see here. I graded it a bit and then you can use this as a mask for some color correction, or you can blur the background a bit, so that's also really useful. Another thing is that we can shuffle out now here our different layers. For example, here is just a refraction of our ocean. I use that separate layer to exaggerate the effect a bit. Another thing is that I exported the camera from Houdini and put them here in the scanline renderer, so we have the motion of our camera properly mapped to a grid here in our NUKE scene, so that the background will move properly to the motion of our camera. Last but not least, I did some final color corrections here and then a cam shake to give our scene a bit more realism. But actually the compositing part here is not the most important thing I want to mention in the end, because I think there are still several things to improve. So let's take a look at a few of them. First, you notice this plopping effect here at some point. I noticed while rendering the sequence that on several frames the ocean was not generated properly, and then I used it as a holdout and on the layers, and you will see that, for example, here on our whitewater layer here the holdout is there of the ocean and in the next frame it's gone. So if you notice this kind of effect, you have to re-render your frame. I will do this later on. Next, let's take a look to a later frame here. Let's say 120, 140. Okay, let's see, take a look at this range here. I mean, we have this really nice flash, but here in this back area you can notice some stepping in our mist simulation. So to get rid of that, an option would be to interpolate the source better or to use more substeps for our mist. Another thing is that we can see some leaking white water here in the collision geo, so it would be good to double check that. And I also noticed that here in the splash area, I mean, the beginning is pretty nice, but in the end, when it's reaching the surface here, it could spread up even more. To achieve this kind of effect, we could increase the strength of our vaporizer in the whitewater simulation. At the moment, we have our whitewater just in the simulated area here. But the thing is, if the boat moves on, the whitewater back here will be cut off. So I tried a few things for workflow to keep the whitewater back there, and also that it can go over the simulation limits of your original flip simulation. It's a bit tricky, but an option would be to generate a bigger ocean